Man, just go back about 3 months, 2 months, whatever it's been, and the Browns were walking away from a season where we were afraid of the secondary. That was our number one need. We needed to improve the secondary. And man, they have improved the secondary. Guys, we've got Ryan Belts joining us today for our round table. Ryan, I'm going to go to you first here. The Browns have done such a great job of, through free agency, through the draft, getting Greg Newsome, adding to the secondary, adding to this defense to improve, a pretty poor secondary from last year. So going into next year, what are your expectations for this team?
Well, I think you kind of teed that up beautifully, Sponte. I mean, where we were at the end of the last season, where we were dreading kind of each game, we knew we'd have to put up probably 25 to 30 points to stay in it because we knew how that secondary was just such an Achilles heel. So here we are today with the anticipation of this being a healthy secondary, the signings of Johnson, Hill, Delpit getting healthy, Ward, Greedy Williams, you draft Newsome, who I'm extremely high on. And my gosh, I mean, the expectations go right along with our expectations for this team in general. And that is the sky is the limit. And I do believe this could be, if they stay healthy, one of the best secondaries in the NFL. We know what Denzel Ward is when he's healthy. I'm so high on Newsome, and I love where his potential. This is a guy 20 years old, runs a 4.3 40. He's going to graduate in 3 years. He's smart. I always think a good barometer for when you like a player and you want to know, is he really as good as what we think he is? I always like to go on the message boards of the colleges of these teams. So I'll go on the Wildcat message board, and my gosh, they are over the moon with Newsome. I mean, they saw him play in every single game of his career. These are the diehards that go on the message boards, and they love Newsome. They said, you got a lockdown all-pro corner for years, and that's something I believe too. I think it's only going to help that he's playing with Denzel, who's very similar style as Newsome. And then, Greedy is someone I was high on from when we drafted him 3 years ago, but the health issues and everything, we really have a question mark there. But you add Johnson, you add Hill, who's a great slot defender as well. And the secondary and the expectations for the secondary, I think, are just as high as our expectations for this team.
Drew, how many Pro Bowlers do we have in this secondary?
I don't know, man. It's probably fewer than the number of Pro Bowl references we've had here. We've got Beltsy giving away all my scouting tips and tricks that people didn't know about. We've got Eric throwing out high school football references. Sponty manages to crush an intro for the first time ever. Like I am taken aback by this. But let's see, number of Pro Bowlers on the roster right now.
In the secondary.
Just in the secondary, that's true. I think it's at least three. Ronnie Harrison, John Johnson III, Denzel Ward, and we haven't even gotten into some of the players, some of the people we've added. With Greedy Williams coming back, Grant Delpit coming back, Troy Hill is a potential guy as a nickelback. I know those guys don't ever make the Pro Bowl actually, but he's that type of a talent in the slot. So it's just incredible to see the overhaul. And I was thinking about this today, and I was going back. I'm talking like history of pro football. I think the difference between Andrew Sendejo, who was rated the worst safety in the league, to John Johnson III might be one of the biggest upgrades the NFL has ever seen year to year. Right? Like, you're not going to get that as a rookie replacing somebody. It's got to be a veteran. You got to go back to like Reggie White. I don't know who he replaced for the Green Bay Packers, but like that guy had to be really, really bad for to get the same sort of difference that this is going to be. I cannot wait to see the secondary that we have play. The guys we have, they weren't even just a guy, Jags. They were people that were signed from the street essentially that had no business out there, and to see them turn it around. It's just awesome. I think it's going to be between them and the football team for the top two secondaries in the league this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
So, Eric, you Sendejo doesn't have a place on this team anymore?
Yes. To finish Drew's point, I would call him a lag, less than a guy, not just a guy. He's much less. Yeah, I mean, you look at the Browns stats. They were ranked 21st in overall defense last year, 27th just in pass defense, giving up 265 yards per game. You look at the number one overall team last year, the LA Rams, who we poached 2 guys from in the secondary, 193 yards. So obviously we had discussed additions of Johnson, Delpit, Hill, and Williams, 2 via free agency, 2 via coming back from injury. Then you just add the Greg Newsome, Richard LeCounte. I don't have a lot of expectations for LeCounte, but he's talented, so we'll give him that. But nonetheless, we have all those guys, added to that roster. In order for the Browns to get into the top 5 from 27 from last year, they're going to have to cut off about 50 yards through the air a game against the other team. All things equal, obviously, trends could go up or down, but I think we have that capability to do that. One of the most maddening things from 2020 season, among many things in the secondary, is the jump balls that seemed like almost like fair catches by the other team. They knew it was coming. Chase Claypool had a couple from Mason Rudolph that was way too easy. I remember the opener against the Ravens. The Browns had just came close, and then Lamar Jackson, I can't remember. It might have been might have been Andrews, the tight end. I can't remember, but he just threw a jump ball right after the Browns got close, and then he caught it. Next play, touchdown, and it was a good night after that. So if we can eliminate those, preferably every game, obviously that'll get to that closer to that 50 yards less per game. So I really think they can really take a huge step up this season. Not to mention, obviously, they seem like they're well tacklers, and they should help in the run game. And I think we have the speed of the guys that can help jar passes away, as opposed to being 2 or 3 steps behind and making a tackle 10 to 15 yards down the field. As far as Newsome's concerned, I could really envision him be a starter on day 1. I mean, it's going to be between him and Greedy, in my opinion, to see who's going to be that guy opposite. I mean, Troy Hill's going to have a look. He's going to be the look at this photograph Nickelback defensive guy. I'm going to be using that a lot this year.
No, don't use it a lot. It's not that good.
Okay, maybe occasionally. But no, I mean, I can envision him at least getting a good opportunity, and I really like what he brings to the table. Ryan Belts had brought up a lot of good points, that he does have a lot of similarities to Denzel Ward as far as his build and the way he plays the game. And what's better than one good corner that's doing a lot of good things, 2 good corners doing a lot of good things. So I think that's going to be a good tandem on the outside. I really want Greedy to start. I want him to fulfill his potential, and then try to get Newsome up to speed where you can put him in eventually. But if he's not healthy or is just not as good, then that's unfortunate, and they kind of have to move on, and that's the nature of the beast. Looking at LeCounte, I think he's got talent. I think in 2019 you've seen a lot of excellent plays from him, a lot of interceptions against SEC opponents. It's not like he's playing some of the lesser teams in college football. Obviously, he had a unfortunate accident from I've heard a lot of different dirt bike, I'm not sure, ATV, some type of accident he had, and that caused him to miss most of 2020 season. He ran a 4.840, which is unacceptable for that position. It's great for us, not great for a cornerback in the NFL.
How fast is he running 40 right now?
Yeah. But, I don't have high expectations for him immediately, but I'm hoping, potentially down the road he could really help out this defense. But, he could even, like, worst case scenario, he could have a redshirt year, an IR, or just be a special teams guy. But best case scenario, he could battle Sheldrick Redwine for one of the last safety spots on this roster and, make it on and, kind of build and grow from there. But, all things considered, I really like this secondary, and I think they've really improved vastly. And I can't wait to see what they do on the field.